But that's low key part of the reason why I do have some respect. Like I do hold a special place in my heart for the Faze boys, partially because I'm a dude bro myself, as you guys know. And also because like they do this shit all the fucking time. Look.
If you're not standing with fucking Faze, nigga, because we deadass go out our way to do content. We do content with ourselves. We do content with.
And it's also ironic because like Faze, even in their worst moments, like even in the old Faze, right? When people would say like, oh, they're misogynistic, they're fucking terrible or whatever. Faze has always been one of the most diverse orgs out there. Like, and I mean capital D diverse, like liberal Democratic Party style diverse. Okay. They always have been. One of the OGs of Faze is Faze Apex. He is straight up Palestinian. He was my connection to Norm Finkelstein. I've talked about this before, okay? It's just, you have to remember. Has there ever been a woman Faze member? Oh God, don't even get me started. No, there is, so now you want to lean on Impulse? No, I'm not. But the people that yell at them are unironically the ones that also are tuned into this shit. The thing is, most of them are straight. They're straight guys, okay? That's it. But overall, they are, I would say, a lot more open about like even fucking saying adapt, not Apex. You think Faze adapt is the reason why Faze adapt is not Palestinian, brother. What are you talking about? He's white. He's white. He is fundraising for Gaza. Faze Apex is Palestinian. Hasan is Iranian. Anyway, whatever. The point I was making is that like they do stand on some of this stuff, and I respect it. It's good. At a time when a lot of other people don't, you know?
Other people, we show love to everybody. Not one community will ever feel left out, ever, bro. We show love to every single community. Free Palestine, fuck cancer, fuck ICE, nigga. Fuck, it's the same shit we've been saying this shit the entire time, bro. We don't have to sit here and openly be on some, yo, we love these people, we love these people. We have never shown no hate to any group, ever. Ever. It's all love. So anybody coming out their mouth, nigga, go get your mans that sitting.
So performative. Well, okay. Dude, listen. They're not, they don't have to do this at all. They don't have to say fuck ICE, free Palestine at all. They have been raising mad money for cancer and cancer charities, and Adept is obviously raising money for Gaza. They do also have, you know, a lot of fucking problematic jokes and shit like that they engage with. And that's precisely the reason why a lot of people from the outside look at that and go, oh, these guys are fucking awful. And that's it. That's it. But it's just, they say fuck ICE, but they voted for Trump. Wait, what? No, I don't think I don't know where you got that from. I think you're thinking of like possibly maybe Lacey, but they did not. I think most of them probably didn't vote.
You're sexually assaulting people, nigga. Fuck you talking about, nigga? And talk about it, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Fuck. Oh my God. If you're not.
People always pearl clutch when they hear cuss words or they hear fuck and think these aren't good boys at all. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. Their audience is very young. Okay? Their audience is very young. It's all like, I'm talking 12-year-old boys. Okay? I'd rather have the 12-year-old boys watch like these guys and Jason and all of them than watch fucking Aiden Ross and Asmongold. Okay? If we're looking at it specifically from this like incredibly narrow male role model attitude, okay? They got like the 12 to 25-year-old audience locked down. And for that audience, like they are, first of all, they don't give a fuck. Okay? They do not even remotely care about like being problematic. As a matter of fact, it's like probably much easier for them to do like jokes of that sort or whatever. But the bar is in hell is my point. The bar is in fucking hell. And bro, there ain't no 12-year-old on Twitch. These guys aren't just on Twitch. You're forgetting. They're also on TikTok. Hasan, I saw you at the rally. Was so nervous. Sorry for interrupting your food purchase and thanks for the merch compliment. But I watch you every day. It's much needed relief considering I work in New York real estate and I'm surrounded by all the grossest behavior you can imagine. You keep me positive, well informed, and feeling up for the fight every day. Thank you. You got it. Keep up the good fight. Yeah. No, Hasan, you should isolate them from everyone and talk shit about everything they do. That'll make the left seem fun and something more than petty grievances. Yeah. What you can't say about Adapt is that he's faked the trick shot. I would never say that. He's never done that. You can say anything you want about him, but you can't say that. Okay? This is the salt strat. I know. Don't even get me started. I don't want to even get into that. But yes, it is a little bit like salting. Petty grievances, yet his homophobic jokes. Please be for fucking real, y'all. PMO. My point is, they just don't like. They see all of this as woke noise, right? Even if the grievances are valid, you have to understand. The more we push people like this away, the more they're just going to find themselves. In the grand scheme of things, the more we push people like that away, the more they see this as like, oh, the liberals are so fucking annoying, and you know, maybe we're right wing, and then 10 years down the line, we turn around and we go, what happened? Why is the internet so right wing? Like it's more than that, right? It's obviously structural hurdles. It's obviously reflective of the material conditions. It's obviously all of that stuff as well. Your defense of current phase just delegitimizes your work. No, because this is not a defensive phase. This is just me saying how we look, how me and my community and how the broader left looks to other people online. We look like we're fucking constantly attacking everybody. At a time when there is like much larger, much more consequential issues out there. SJW's fucked up politics online for the last 10 years. It's not just that. It's that this is something that I've talked about so much. Like, we look like fucking hall monitors. We look like HR people. Okay. That's it. And I'm never going to be able to work against this, especially because people can't parse through valid grievances and blemishes that people have in their track record that they highlight and turn into like a massively consequential difference in opinion. Okay. Like, even when I'm talking about this, you say, so just never push them back and accept bigotry. There's a big gap between don't push back against bigotry and ostracize them. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't push back on bigotry. When have I not pushed back on bigotry? If I can't even make this point, if I can't even make this fucking point without everybody literally in my own community fucking hammering this shit down my throat, then if I can't even get charitability on this, then we got a big ass problem. That's my point. It's because you aren't making a good point. Is your point that we should seek to explain to people why they shouldn't be offensive, or what is the argument that we should be okay with people being more right wing if they aren't political? No, it's the first thing. Like, the way I do this in my real normie experiences, if I see someone around me say something bigoted, right? And this happens all the time because normies in the real world have a lot of fucking right-wing attitudes on social issues. Right-wing culture is very dominant in the minds of normies, right? And there are obviously a lot of systemic factors at play here. You have tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars being poured into think tanks and advocacy groups on the right to set up the most appropriate anti-trans narratives that they can find. They go back to the drawing board when they fail. Like with the trans bathroom bill in North Carolina, they go back to the drawing board and they find a new way to just like hammer in the point that like trans people need to be forcibly excised from society. Like this is a endless battle, an endless struggle, right? It is very, very difficult to combat. So when you see it in the real world, like, you have to offer pushback. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. That's ridiculous. Okay. But the way that you do it in the real world is always going to be different than the way you do it online, because online, it just turns into noise. It turns into noise. It turns into passionate advocacy in general. And then if anyone even turns around and says, hey, we should be, we should, of course, not allow bigotry of any sort to exist, but there are probably better, more appropriate targets to unload into out there. Even when someone makes that argument, people go, what do you mean? You just love bigotry. You just want to be fucking friends with all your bigoted friends. You're bigot yourself. You're fucking fascist, blah, 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 all this shit. And we're too annoying about it sometimes. I see what you're saying. It just pushes people for exactly. Because the average person doesn't have, the average person has not put a lot of thought into this. The average person, the normie, unless they have like one close associate who is trans or one close associate who is from a marginalized background that has actually communicated their real world experiences to them, the average fucking person, and no, not the average white person, stop with that shit either. It's more often than not white people, white men specifically, but it's not always white men specifically. This is how fucking Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party lost the entirety of the Hispanic vote. Okay, stop. This is what I try to describe to people where I'm like, it's not just white people. White people majority, sure, but like it's not just white people. You're fucking failing to see it. Okay? So my point is when someone hasn't already signed up to be woke and overcome a metric ton of propaganda that is constantly beamed in their collective consciousness that like these people are weird, these people are gross, these people are violent, right? If they haven't like leaned into, if they haven't actually pushed back against that at all and deconstructed some of this shit, some of their earlier social conditioning, and the only thing they see is people broadly coming after them, even if they're like kind of trying to be good to the best of their ability, when there are infinitely worse actors out there who are very clearly streamlining right-wing propaganda and also come across as much more forgiving and much more accepting. That's how we lose in the long run. That's how we lose in the long run. This doesn't mean that you don't fucking, you don't say, hey, time out, stop the hate. Okay? You should do that. I do it all the fucking time, and you should too. If you see something cringe, you go, hey, that's a little bit cringe, big dog. Where'd you learn that? Time out. Stop the hate. Okay? Straight up. But you have to do it in a way where it's like you don't come across like a fucking hall monitor, because it sucks, but we're not very good online. The online spaces are not very good and not very disciplined in the way that they push back on this stuff. A lot of people don't know a big chunk of PR is kind of pro-Trump. There's a lot of self-hate. Hell, my great-grandma was like, dating white is correct and see whiteness as the best. It's not just white people. Yeah, there is that too. I mean, white supremacy is such an ever-present concept that, yes, it is baked into the collective consciousness of non-white people as well. The normal people's starting point is rooted in white supremacy and misogyny, and even making them aware of that is an extreme step that they more often than not take offense to. Yeah. As a former normie, your strategy works. Yeah, I mean, clearly. I think one thing that a lot of people don't understand is that people on the left go, well, I'm morally righteous, so everyone should come on board, without ever factoring in their social learning experiences and their own personal experiences in their own environment, and like the metric ton of propaganda that they don't even look at as propaganda but just take for granted. They don't realize that like a lot of people's starting position is fucking incredibly reactionary, because we live in a reactionary culture. We live in a reactionary world. We live in a reactionary country, right? So you always have to factor that in when you are having conversations with people. You know, you trap more. What is the term? You trap more flies with honey than vinegar. You should study sociology, brother. I come from a Marxist tradition that is sociology, more like socialismology. You have to be a little bit compassionate, even the dipshits. Yeah, for sure. And I get how ridiculous that fucking sounds, brother. I get how ridiculous that fucking sounds. All right? Because, you know, there's a point of marginalization that I've experienced non-fucking stop as well. Right? I'm not going to get back into it. I'm not going to relitigate it because people get bored and people get annoyed with me when I talk about this. But yes, I understand how much of a hair trigger you develop over years and years of trying to constantly fucking justify your existence. Bro, how do you come from a Marxist tradition and espouse this liberal, non-materialist ass take? Because first of all, this experience of marginalization on the basis of identity is still done as a vehicle to drive home divisiveness and destroy class consciousness. Okay, it is a weapon, and it's also a weapon that is wielded, one, to destroy class consciousness and foment class solidarity, and two, the non-material liberal ass take in this situation also causes you to forget that, like, while the segmenting of society can be done at the basis of identity, racialized segmenting of society, anti-blackness, for example, that in and of itself, the violence that black people receive is still the same type of violence of class. This is not like, I get called a class reductionist all the time, but I think I have a more unique take on this. And what I mean by that is like anti-blackness is still class violence. Okay? White supremacy is still class violence. It always is class violence. It's both class violence because it's divisive and it causes those in the working class to behave like lumpen proles. Okay? And also on top of that, the violence that black people receive from the superstructure, the violence that black people receive from systematic factors is still the very same, if not worsened, version of class violence. Like redlining. Redlining was directed at black people, but the outcome for black people was still being on the receiving end of class violence. It was racialized, but it was still class violence. This is ironic because a lot of people say, oh, the Marxist tradition is so white. And yet, all of the existing and all of the historic socialist developments have been far more woke than its capitalist counterparts at the time, whether it be fascism or whether it be liberalism. Okay? There is a reason for that. Because socialists, first and foremost, understand that your background, your skin color, your gender is utterly irrelevant. What matters is still your class position. What matters is that you are a worker. Okay? And that's precisely why they have worked tirelessly to try and uplift all workers. This doesn't mean that you eliminate, or this doesn't mean that you don't factor in these other immaterial identity markers, especially if there is identity markers that are specifically designed to divide the working class. Yeah, literally 90% of the countries who try to apply socialism were non-white. Skin color isn't irrelevant in America. We have a racialized slave class to this day. Yes, also, no one said it's irrelevant. And I even said that the USSR didn't even consider it to be fucking irrelevant. And the USSR is the whitest version of socialism that you can arrive at, right? As opposed to the numerous other successful or failed versions of socialist revolution. You see this WPBM ignore steak
Nigga
logo?
said HasanAbi her shit. Yo, y'all gotta dead ass relax. Hasan's my dog. I think y'all got all this shit twisted. Y'all weird as hell. I'm not throwing no shot collars or nothing. Chill out. Nigga said HasanAbi her shit. Yo,
I don't know if I ever had testicles. I'll try it. I'll try it once.